Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. So glad to have each of you with us today. Today, we're going to have a great topic. We're talking with Dr. Michael Freeland, who is the author of Free Your Land. We're going to be having a great deep dive discussion about mental real estate. Welcome, Dr. Michael Freeland. How are you over there?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm blessed to be here. Today is a great day in mental real estate, and every chance I get to have an opportunity to discuss this, as they say, I don't know, I haven't seen a mic I didn't like. So I might as well grab a hold to the mic and get ready because we got some information to share with some people today that will hopefully help them and help them become better every single day of their life.
Wow. And you're such an inspiration. I know some of your story. I was at a conference and had the opportunity to hear you speak. And I was like, this man has been through so much. And to still have that
Yes.
vibrant smile and that energy that you bring to the world, to this universe, is just amazing to me. So I can't wait for people to hear your story. Let me give a formal introduction. And then after that, guys, listen, I already tell you, go ahead and tag your friends, your family, your coworkers. Everybody's going to want to hear today's story. Every single person you know. Get your tissue. Wait, do I have mine? Okay, you just want to have everything, your beverage, everything. All right, let me see who already came in, and I see you share. Graham,
Yes,
it's a great pleasure to have you in the virtual studio audience. Let me know where you're visiting in from too, and we'll pop that back up. All right.
Yes.
So, Dr. DJ Mike J has celebrated his life in the music business for now 30 years. His motto is not about the music, it's about the experience. This experience has reached to other countries around the world, which has propelled him into the international spotlight. He's also a published book author of Free Your Land, Developing Your Mental Real Estate, that has become his global initiative. He has also earned his honorary doctorate in humanities, becoming a World Civility Ambassador, and was recently awarded the World Civility Newcomer of the Year Award in Gary, Indiana on World Civility Day. It's so much more to Dr. Freeland, but I want to say that I failed to mention this one thing. He's also an international motivational speaker, and I am so honored and pleased to present to you today Dr. Michael DJ Mike Freeland. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you so much. Hey, it's a complete honor. And, before we even continue on, I must say what the Kim Jacobs Show adds to this platform, to her own platform, but to around the world is phenomenal. Guys, don't take it for granted because the words that are spoken on these platforms meet people where they are and they help people to understand where they need to be. So Kim Jacobs, before I take the microphone and say anything else, I must say thank you for what you add to the world around us and how people are inspired by what you do to bring people to this stage. So thank you.
Can I take you around the world with me? Because I'm like, listen, my introduction is coming from DJ Mike himself.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Listen, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube, take a moment to do that. We'll put it right in the comment section and give you a chance to subscribe. It's on our YouTube channel. And don't just subscribe and turn the notifications on. Take a moment to watch the shows and learn from all of these outstanding guests that are providing missing pieces of the puzzle that might just be missing in your life. So I am grateful that we're able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time, with people like Dr. Michael Freeland. So I want to go back and take us back to your story a little bit, because I know you're this honorary doctor. You're definitely traveling the world, speaking and all of these things. But life hasn't always been that easy for you. So take us back on your journey, where it kind of began for you.
Well, where it began as a young boy who was born with, as they say, 10 fingers and 10 toes. That's always the first thing that they look for, is the 10 fingers and 10 toes, and that establishes a healthy baby boy or girl. But at the age of 5, I was growing up as a normal child, but at the age of 5, I had something happen to me that changed my life forever. And it still affects me right now. I was born with a rare condition called Milroy's disease. And I mean, and I can't be ashamed of the story because it is me, it is who I am. And I was born with this Milroy's disease. Now, how did I determine this was Milroy's disease? At the age of 5, I remember we was in Arizona and my mother was getting us ready. And my dad was away at work. He was actually in the military. He was in the Air Force at the time. And my mom was getting me and my brother ready so we could take a trip. And so I remember mom reaching down to wash us up because we would take baths together because we were small enough. She threw both of us in the tub. So while she was cleaning me up, she reached over and grabbed my right leg and she washed it. She's like, give me your other leg. And when I lifted my left leg, I heard my mom scream. Now, as a 5-year-old boy, I didn't understand what that was all about, what happened, because I didn't feel anything different at the time.
Right.
But noticeably, my left leg had gotten so big, and my mom didn't understand. So she called my dad. My dad rushed home and took me to the doctor. And immediately the doctor said, well, do you have any pets in the house? Because they had assumed that I had probably got scratched by a cat. Now, this is 1970s now, so you got to know the technology back then isn't what it is today.
Right.
So when I got, when they determined that it wasn't a scratch, it came with a fever, it came with cold chills. Eventually, they put me on a plane, not eventually, immediately, once they realized it wasn't any animal bites or anything, and flew me straight to Boston Children's Hospital.
Oh, okay.
So when I get to Boston Children's Hospital, they got me in the hospital and they're telling my dad what they have to do. And so next thing I know, I'm whisked away to the operating room. So they put me on the table and I'm going to give you my reflection of this. They put me on the table and they're operating on my feet. And so apparently while I was on the table, I woke up. I woke up while they were operating on me because they didn't have the anesthesia deep enough.
Let me stop you for 1 second, only because people that are watching today, as I didn't know either until I heard your story and did some research on it. And this is not an image of Michael Freeland's legs, but I just want to give you an image so that you can get a visual, because he, at his speaking engagements, he shows different devices and things that he uses to be able to survive every single day and to thrive. But I want to just show you what Milroy disease can do to someone's legs, and tell me if this is not a correct image. Okay, Dr.
Okay.
Freeland? Okay. Is that right?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And it affects my left leg.
Okay.
Wow, that's emotional. That's emotional because man, we told them to get some Kleenex and I didn't get none. But the fact of the matter is, it's very painful. Now, as I said, when I was on the table, I woke up during the operation because they did not have the anesthesia deep enough. So then, needless to say, I passed back out. But they told my dad that I had Milroy's disease in Boston Children's Hospital. So that began a cycle of what happened. And what happened was something that is still a mystery today. I'm living my whole life right now with this same mystery because, excuse me, because you notice that when you go to the doctor, they always have you fill out forms, and these forms will say, hey, do you have history? They always ask for medical history. Is your mom diabetic, heart disease, whatever, cancer? They always ask for, hey, do you have any history about Milroy's disease in your family? My mother said no. And they asked my father the same question. And when they asked my father the same question, he had the same answer. Absolutely not. Because here's what the question is, and the mystery that I have to live with today is, if you look up the definition of Milroy's disease, it says in the definition that it is an inherited genetic condition. It is inherited. So if this is an inherited condition, how can you possibly explain my mother with no traits of Milroy's disease on her side? My father has no traits of Milroy's disease on his side, but yet still I'm born with a condition that was not inherited. God is the only answer that I can come up with. But it took me years to come to the realization that this is something that God has for me. There's a lot of crosses in life that we bear, but the one cross that I did not count on is this one. And the shameful part of knowing that I've had this my whole life and the mystery is still exists. I don't know how this happened. The only thing I can say is the God that I serve, the God that I know, for whatever reason, is using this for his purpose.
Right.
But you couldn't tell me that at 5 years old. You couldn't tell me that at 12 years old. You couldn't tell me that at 18 years old. So what I'm saying is, it plagued my life to a point of shamefulness. And let me rewind for a second, because not only did I have to go through Milroy's disease, my dad didn't have a lot of knowledge about it. So he didn't have a lot that he wasn't too hands-on. He just didn't know. My dad worked a lot in the military, so he was always gone, working hard. And it was mostly me and my mother. Now, you're a mother, and I know for a fact that as mothers, if I had to ask you, one of the hardest things that you could do as a parent, and I'm a father, one of the hardest things you could ever do as a parent is watch your child suffer, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, see, I had my mom go through all this with me. So every time I experienced the sickness with Milroy's disease, I went through it for the first time, and when I went through it for the first time, guess who was right there beside me, going through it with me?
Your mom.
So, yeah. So when I would sit in the hospitals, and I was in the hospitals like every 3 months. Now, let me tell you how bad this got. I was in the hospital for like every 3 months, like clockwork. The doctors knew me by name. When I walked in there, they already knew what I was there for, why I was there, and they had to get me a room immediately. Because what this Milroy's disease was doing is, it's a lymphatic, it's not lymphedema. Let's not confuse the two, but it affects the lymphatic system. So what happens is my lymph glands in my midsection and my lymph glands in my legs are affected by this. So my lymph glands on my left leg are non-existent. And so because of that, it creates a lot of pain. So what happens is, I'll catch sharp pains through my midsection. And when I do, it's like having a cramp as a basketball player, but you could extend that through your whole body. Because what happens is, when those pains would come, it would be so sharp that it would stabilize me. I couldn't do anything. If I was sitting, I couldn't stand. If I was standing, I couldn't sit. If I was laying down, I couldn't sit up. If I was sitting up, I couldn't lay back. And all this because the movement, it wasn't so much the fact that if I did this was going to hurt. It wasn't going to hurt, or it was going to hurt. But the fact is that when I did these things, it was excruciating. And here it is. My mother had no way of knowing that when I was in the hospital with her, because she had to take me, that the doctors knew that I would come in with 104, 105 degree fever. And they said, well, we need to take his garments off and just cover him with the sheet, because they wanted to help break my fever. But I was so cold. I was burning up, but I was so cold that I could not stop shivering. Now, when those cramps I talked about would happen, I would actually begin to shiver because of the pain. I couldn't knock it off of me. So it's like they call it cold chills, but it's different than that, because when that pain was hitting me, I was literally shaking from so much pain. And my mom didn't understand, and I couldn't explain it because I didn't know how to explain it. So when the doctor said, get him, they got a basin pan, they came in the room, they said, Mom, do you mind doing this? She says, no, absolutely not. They said, I'm going to put some water in this pan, and we got to put some alcohol in here. And I need you to rub him down with this alcohol rub so that we can help to break his fever. And I know he may not like it if we touch him because he's shivering right now. We can't give him a sheet. I was begging for a blanket. They wouldn't give me one. But my mom said, baby, we can't put this on you. We got to break your fever. So I'm trying to agree. So my mom puts the sheets back, and she grabs the alcohol and the pad, and she's trying to rub me down. She's rubbing me down, and the whole time she's rubbing me down, I'm crying. But the difference was I hadn't stopped crying. I never stopped crying because I was in so much pain. But what my mother didn't understand, I had to tell her when I grew up, that when she was doing that with a fever like 105, anytime she applied the alcohol rub to me, it was like fire. So it was like literally setting me on fire in the bed. And so I couldn't express how it felt to feel that kind of pain on top of an alcohol rub down, which she believed, because the doctors told her, was helping. My mom didn't even know any better. But I knew for a fact that what it was doing to me, I couldn't even explain it. Pain was beyond the measure. So let me get to something else. when I was still in California with my dad, Edwards Air Force Base. He was stationed there at the time. I went into the hospital with 107-degree fever. 107-degree fever. I was staring at a coma. The doctors told them if they couldn't break my fever, it's possible I could go into a coma. Now, while I was there, the doctors they whisked me away. They told my dad what they was going to do, and they whisked me away. I didn't have any idea, but I get into this room, and while I'm in this room, I see all these metal tables, and I see these metal tubs, and now we're still in the 1970s. So I'm in these rooms, and I see these fitness tubs where they would put the exercise, the men that would work out, that go after a basketball game or football game, they would sit in a tub of ice to try to, that's old school. They would sit in that tub of ice to help themselves relieve their muscles. And so what they did is they took that tub and they put me, let me rewind that. They took that tub and they filled it with ice. They filled it with ice and they put just enough water in there so that the ice would move, just so it wasn't solid. And then they picked me up with 107-degree fever at the time. And they lowered me into that tub. I wish I could explain that feeling. It's something how, let me tell people out there, all the listeners, the realization of what you deal with, it doesn't leave you because you tell the story again. Because I can't make this stuff up, because the life that I'm living, the life that I live, the blessed life that I have now is based on the fact that there was a level of suffering that I had to endure, not knowing whether I would even survive it. So I went through this tub of ice water that they put me in so bad, and I was in so much pain. I was literally delirious, and I remember that. I remember what it looked like in that room. The lights were out when I walked in, and when they turned the lights on, there was that giant metal tub that they just poured all that ice and put water in, and they set me down in it. Now, when I came out, it still wasn't effective. It wasn't effective. They put me back into my room, and they talked to my dad, and my dad came back to me, and he says, Mike, he looked at me. I got to tell you, he says, they said if we can't get your fever to break, that we may have to amputate your left leg. Because they said they're afraid that the infection may spread through your body and it could do major damage to you, do more harm. So this was on the table. Them amputating my leg was on the table for the doctors to make a decision on. And now,
and I keep trying to find visuals, even though I don't have your direct images, but I'm doing research and seeing Milroy's disease prior to having to be amputated. So I don't know whose image this is, but tell me if this is kind of like the size of what was happening with your leg when you were in this phase. Please tell me. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I mean, you got to have a visual, everybody.
Yes. Yes.
This is like, if you get a picture in your mind of what this man is saying, he was diagnosed at the age of 5 with Milroy's disease, and his mom was just giving him and his sibling a bath, regular stuff that moms do. It's like, get in this tub, y'all, let's get ready to take a bath, and you're going to double up because we're trying to save me some time as mom or your dad or whoever. And she goes to lift his left leg, and his left leg is swollen beyond control, to the point where she has to get him rushed to the hospital. It's much bigger than ever imagined. And then they go and find out that he's living with this inherited disease, not knowing who he inherited it from, because his mom nor dad even know about the disease. This is a lot, everybody. This is a lot that this man is talking about here today. It's going to bless your life. I promise you, if you go ahead and touch somebody else's life by tagging them and inviting them to be a part of today's broadcast. Dr. Michael Freeland, listen, we have to take one quick commercial break. We're going to come right back and hear more of your story. It is it's mind-blowing, to say the least. My heart, my chest is tight over here, but I know the other side of the story too. So I'm looking forward to the outcome too. But let me go ahead and let you know that today's episode is sponsored here on the Kim Jacobs Show by Snow Legal Group. Attorney Kenneth D. Snow said that he didn't realize when he wanted to become an attorney, but he knew that he wanted to be a voice for those that did not have a voice to represent themselves. His phone number is 704-358-0026. Email is info@snowlegal.com. Make sure that you let him know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you his way, and they are in the North Carolina and in the South Carolina area. Let's learn more about them now, and make sure you tag 10 friends to be a part of this broadcast today. Dr. Michael Freeland is talking to us about mental real estate.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
Wow. We are talking with Dr. Michael Freeland, and he's talking to us right now about a disease that he was diagnosed with at the age of 5. Unbeknownst to him and his family, never heard of this disease, but it's an inherited disease. And so please continue on with your story of what happened when you were about to get amputated.
Yes. Now, what I remember is that when my dad came into the room, thank you for that break. I needed that. This was getting tough.
I needed that.
It was getting tough.
I need a mental reprieve.
You know, and you can imagine as a boy at the time, I was probably about 8 or 9 years old when that news came out that this was what they was determining to do. I literally begged my father not to allow this to happen. And he was in favor of it. Initially, he was in favor of it. He didn't want to have to tell me, but my dad was in favor of it. And I'm sure that if he had it to do over or to say anything, because he had to think about my welfare and would this save my life? And as a kid, I didn't understand that, but I knew the one thing that I could do was beg, because that's the only thing I knew at that age. We know that our kids are not fit to make these type of life decisions, but I know if I couldn't do anything else, I had to beg for what I wanted, and I did. So let me tell you, thankfully, God intervened. The fever broke enough for them to put me back in the room. And once I got out of the room, I went back home and I began to start trying to live as a normal boy. Now, fast forward, I ended up coming to Kansas, where my mother is from. And I lived with my mom, and we continued to work through mental real estate. That's always on the shelf. But we continued to work through Milroy's disease together. Now, this is where it got hard, is because my mom found me a doctor. I had one doctor who was always in tune with Milroy's disease. And within a year, that doctor stopped practicing. And so then I went from having some treatment to no treatment. And so it increased the sickness when I was sick. It was always getting worse as I got older. So the cold chills would get worse, the cramps would get worse, the fevers would still stabilize around the 103 to 106 mark. And and so I was always, when I got sick, it was easy to be down for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
So what was crazy is that my mom found me a therapist in the hospital, and they had this machine, called the Jobs machine. And back then, what the Jobs machine was designed to do was to help move the fluids, the lymphatic fluids, from an area in your body that was stagnant, that was sitting there. Because if anybody knows anything about fibrosis, you know that is a hardening of the tissues. And with fibrosis, it can set in with the lymphatic fluids that sit in your leg, so it has to circulate, or else that giant leg that you've seen on screen becomes a rock. And once it becomes a rock, then you have no circulation. And when you have no circulation, then here comes the amputation. So just to help people understand that, wow, man, what my mom did for me, she found me a therapist. I would go to the hospital. 2 or 3 times a week. And I'd get on this machine. They put this boot on me, and it would air up and release. And some of y'all are familiar with that. And I would have to go through this at least 3 days a week. And it would cost my mother $100 a trip. And this is in about 1982. And so one day I came home from school and I went to my mom. I said, okay, Mom, are we ready to go to therapy? I said, you ready? She said, sit down for a minute. I said, I know, but we got to go, Mom. I said, it's almost time. We got to get to therapy. She said, sit down for a minute. So I sat down and she said,
Wait. Don't, you cannot tell. We got to take a 30-second. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so sorry, but I'm overwhelmed in my chest. I'm going to take 30 seconds, y'all, because I don't know what you're going to say. But I know right now, just give me 30 seconds. I didn't need the full 30 seconds, but I had to.
I'm good. I think I'm good.
I just laid back for a minute. I said, let me just stretch my wall of my chest out, because this is a lot. What you're saying is a whole lot, and this is what you live. This isn't just some story. This is your life. This is your real life. And here you are standing here, DJ Mike, mental real estate, and you've been through all of this. Okay, go ahead. Tell us what your mom said.
And so my mom makes me sit down. I'm ready to go, but she insists that I take a seat. So when I sit down, my mom says, I know that, these have been helping you, and I've seen the noticeable change. But she said, but baby, I can't afford this anymore. The $100 a week. And my mom worked, she was a diligent worker, worked 20-something years at Hallmark Cards. So she was a, production worker. She got up at 6:30. My mom never owned a car until we was all grown. It's just me and my brother, but she would get up and catch the bus to work in the mornings. And I celebrate my mother all the time, every chance I get, but she had to sit me down and tell me that she can't afford this anymore. Now, I had to deal with the whole thing in California with the amputation and praying to God, and he got me out of it. Now I'm here faced with an opportunity to have a life-changing opportunity to let me become more normal as a child, to do the things that I wanted to do and experience the things I want to experience. Finally. And yet and still we get set back again. And I had to look at my mom, and she wasn't happy, but she had to tell me, baby, I can't afford it anymore. Now, let me give you just a little bit more about this woman I call Mom. I said that she didn't own a car. She worked at Hallmark Cards. She would get up at 6:30 in the morning, catch the bus to school, wake us up. Me and my brother would have to get ourselves ready for school. But there was one particular time where my mother got us together in the evening. We had our lights cut off in the dead of winter. My mom got me and my brother together, and she took us over to my auntie's house, who lived in the projects just down the street, about maybe quarter of a mile down the road. We walked over there in the winter, and we thought we was going to visit. And my mom, she left us there. And I said, Mom, where are you going? And my mom said, she says, you guys will be okay here. I said, Mom, where are you going? She says, I'm going back to the house. I said, Mom, why are you going home? We don't have any lights. Why are you leaving? You don't have to go.
What?
She said, I said, because it was her sister's house. And she said, I have to go home to go to work so I can get these lights back on. So my mom made the sacrifice of taking her two boys, putting them in safety, and taking herself in the heat, in the dead of winter, back to a cold home. Because back then, heat and gas was one and the same. They didn't separate them.
Right.
So my mother did this work until she was able to get the lights back on, and then we came back home. Now, all of this in the midst of still me, a child, still dealing with Milroy's disease. Now, let me tell you, this is why my mom is my hero, because let me fast forward a little bit, because I know we could go on for hours, and we don't have hours. We just got one.
Okay, let me take up this hour however you want.
Okay, but listen,
whatever you want, please.
So I got to a point where I wanted to, I was going outside playing with the neighborhood kids. I was still doing certain things that I wanted to do as a child, but Milroy's disease always reminded me that I was not like everybody else. If I get out and play too much and I get tired, And if I did too much, then here come the cramps and the pain and the fever. So once it was a snowball, once one situation happened, everything else combined. It was not just one, and then that was it. It when it piled on, it literally piled on. So what happened was, I remember being outside playing, and the kids would make fun of me because I didn't even want to wear shorts. I wanted sweatpants because back then they had what? Jordache, Wrangler, Lee.
Right.
They didn't have all these designer pants that they got now. So everything was straight leg. And so every time I would put jeans on, it would be so tight on one, but yet baggy on the other.
Right.
And so it was embarrassing to me. So I did not wear jeans. They had these things called parachute pants or like pinstripe pants. So I would always want to wear stuff that was baggy or jogging pants. And so one day I came in and I was sitting on the porch. My mom was in the house fixing something. And she came outside. She said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing, Mom." She sees me just sitting. She said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" Because you know how moms, y'all know your kids.
We know.
"Boy, tell me what's wrong with you." So my mom says, I said, "Mom, I don't want to go play." I said, "I'm tired of these kids laughing at me. I'm tired of them making fun of me. You know, these kids would literally make friends with me just so I could come around them and their friends, and they would laugh at me while I was in the midst of them." And I told my mom, done, I was tired. So my mom stood me up. She said, come here. She said, "Let me tell you something." And I say this, I mean, I can't make this up. I say this to everyone because it's just my real life. My mom told me, she says, "Let me tell you something." Wow. She says, "If you treat this like a handicap, that's all it will ever be." Man, life-changing words right there from a mother. If you treat this like a handicap, that's all it will ever be. Now, that's a message for somebody today. And your handicap may not be physical. Your handicap could be mental. So what I'm saying to you now is, if you treat what you're dealing with, your circumstantial situation, if you treat it like a handicap, that's all it will ever be. So I got myself together and I went out and I started playing with kids. And so what happened was, I got in middle school and I decided I wanted to try out for sports in my 8th grade year. Now, I tried to go out for football, but I wasn't strong enough. I tried to go out for basketball. I just didn't have the skill set. But the one thing that I knew I wanted to do was run. So track came out. I wanted to run. Now, if anybody who's heard this story right now, you can understand when I say I wanted to run, you know exactly why I need to run. So I went out for track and I had a great time. It was a good team. And we had our track meets. And you know, in the 8th grade, you celebrate getting ready to go to high school. So what happened was, we had the city meet. And in the city meet, we bring all the middle schools in the city into one area. And we have this big track meet to find out which school is the best school in the city. So I couldn't wait. Needless to say, even as a willing participant on the track team, they did not let me run. Not one meet did they let me run. But I supported my team because I enjoyed the opportunity to just run. So we get to the final track meet, the city meet. And while we're in the city meet, all the races are going, and I'm sitting there waiting on my name to be called because I didn't know what they was going to let me run. I just believed I could run. So I'm waiting, and everything is happening. And I see race after race going by. I'm cheering my team on. Let's go. And next thing I know, we're down to like the last couple of races. So they let the 800 meter go. And I'm sitting there. They finished that race. And I'm watching parents get ready to get out and leave. But there's still a lot of people in the stadium. And then they called for the 400 meter run. The 400 meter run. And I heard Freeland. And I said, yeah. They said, you're up. I said, okay, I'm going. So I run down to the track. It's my race. I have never ran a 400 meter run before, except in practice, and it wasn't timed. So I said, I'm going to run this race because this is my race. So I get down to the track, and we all get ready. 400 meters, the last race of the whole city meet, and I'm down there. So they say, on your marks, get set, pow, the gun goes off. We start running. So I'm booking. I get to that first 100. I'm feeling good. I'm running. I'm keeping up. I get to the second 100. I'm still there. I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up. As I wind around the curve to get to that 300 mark, I start to slow down. I'm running as hard as I can, but I'm slowing down. And when I tell you every time that Milroy's disease finds a way to let me know that I'm just not like everybody else, this is when I have to push through. So I make it around to the last 400. Now, you should know that in the 400, where it comes to the finish line, when you're running around and you see the whole stadium right there in front of you on the last stretch to the finish line. So as I'm running the last 100 of my race, I can hear the laughs. Now, let me back up, because the people that were in the race with me had already crossed the finish line when I was at the last 400. I'm in this last 100-meter stretch, and most of the people that was in the race was already at the finish line, and I'm still trying to get there. And I can hear the laughs in the audience. People looking at my leg because I have to wear shorts. They see me. But, you know, one thing I learned is that people will make fun of what they don't understand. And sometimes that's to a fault, because negligence is bliss. You can't be negligent. You owe it to yourself to do some research or some work or ask the question. But what they didn't know is that as I'm running this last 100, and it was tough, I'm running, trying to get to that finish line. I can hear the last, look at his leg. I can hear, oh my God, look at that. What happened to him? That looks crazy. I can hear this in the stands right beside me. But see, that wasn't the part that broke my heart. The fact that the people were actually discussing my leg condition in an audience where people were chiming in. What was the worst part about that is that my mother was sitting right in the middle of all of that. They did not know that that was my mother. They didn't know that they were saying hurtful things about her son while he finally has an opportunity to run for his life. They had no idea that that woman who meant so much to me was standing there cheering, trying to say, go baby, but adversity all around her, teasing all around her, disrespect all around her. And my mom turned around. I don't know what she said, but if you mess with a lion's cub, I just know that my mom had some words to say to that person or whoever she got to. But the fact of the matter remained is that for that moment, I was okay with dealing with what I had to deal with, because I had developed an immunity to how people treated me. But the thing that hurt me the most was that I had to watch my mother endure something that I had dealt with my whole life. I had to watch her. The one time that she was able to come and see her baby run, she couldn't even do it in peace. And that bothered me. And to this day, I still celebrate the woman I call mom. So fast forwarding again.
Wait. You cannot just keep going with this kind of stuff. I need like a massage or something. This is crazy. Okay, yes. Listen, let me show this picture right quick. Tell me what this is that we're looking at.
Oh my gosh, that's the dance. That's my high school dance team. My friend Alfred, and from the left to the right, Alfred, Angie, Jackie, and I'm all the way on the right side. So that is me. And guess who made those outfits that we're dancing in? My mother.
Your mommy.
My mom sold every single one of those. She's a bomb seamstress, y'all. So I'm telling you, she still does it today. She been, oh my gosh. Yes. That picture was taken from a news article in my local city. They caught wind of my Milroy's disease, my story. They came and interviewed me here in my home, and they wanted some photos. And, you know, what you see there is the compressions. And, you know what? It's funny because I have to wear them every time I move. Now, when I go to my job and work, I have to wear a full leg one that comes across the torso. But when I'm not working, I can wear the knee highs. And even though it may seem, oh my gosh, yes, this is the equipment, guys, that I have to use when I have to lay down in my bed and try to get this fluid off of me. Now, let me help you with that one. That is a $5,000 machine. And when I got that machine, I could not afford to get that machine because I did not have the money for that machine. And what happened was God bless, the people said, we're going to see if we can get you a scholarship, if we can get you a grant to help you get this machine. And do you know, I received that machine on a grant. God had gifted me this. That is a gift from God. And I say that only because I know what it meant to me to get that, because it brought me to tears, because I knew that I could not have done that on my own. So that machine right there is a lifesaver, and I have to use it all the time. I need just a second because I have got to clean my face. I've been crying and stuff. Give me just about 20 seconds, please.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, everyone, and we will be right back with Dr. Michael Freeland. Again, we didn't script this show. We just talk. We're talking from the heart. And this is his story, his real life story that he's lived with Milroy's disease. And I know it's blessing somebody that's watching today. All right. So everybody listen, we're going to learn more right now about Silver Shield Security. I have Silver Shield Security, and I encourage you to get it if you don't have it. They're in the North Carolina area, and they have great customer service. And so I'm hoping that you all will take a moment to learn more about Silver Shield Security and the wonderful service that they provide.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everybody, we are back with Dr. Michael Freeland. Let me make sure I let you know that you can reach Silver Shield Security by visiting silvershield-security.com. You can also call them at 704-440-4688 and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way, and you'll get excellent customer service. Okay, Dr. Michael Freeland.
Yes. Yes.
There are so many facets to you. I do want to put up this one other picture too that I saw. I was kind of deep diving into your life over here. So let me find this picture. Yes. What is this a picture of here? Oh, I know that one. One. And then
I got to tell you some stuff about that one. That was good.
Tell me who this is.
That is one of my good friends and assistant, Kiva Evans, and she's going to be in Kansas City with me. Actually, she's been a lifelong friend and helps me out with so many, and she actually owns her own business also. So I've been a big supporter of people who are trying to do more. So we just became very close, and we're still good friends today. So she's been a blessing to me, and we go all the way back to high school too. So we come up through the ranks together.
All right, and then these two people here.
Oh man, those are my two heartbeats right there. If you've never seen them, I mean, they're a little older now, but these are my heartbeats. That's Trey on the right side, and that's Alicia. She's a high schooler this year. She's a cheerleader right now, and she's an honor student. And my son is a fantastic student. Phenomenal kids, guys. I mean, if you can't do anything else, just continue to pour into your kids, and guess what? They'll bless you. And these two right here have been nothing but the joy of my life. Oh, that's my reason to live right there. Oh yeah. You're digging. That's my mom. That's me and my mother, in the apartments, and I have a cup of Baskin Robbins ice cream in my hand. And that was always a ritual. My mom would go to work so hard, and that was always a treat for us, because again, I said she didn't have a car. So in the summertime, when she'd come home from work, we would always walk about a half a mile up the street to the local Baskin Robbins, and we would always get us a treat for some ice cream. And that was considered a real treat for us back then.
Awesome. Oh,
yes.
Okay, so let's go to some of the studio audience. I got to get the picture off. I deleted the picture, and then wait a minute.
That's all right.
We got to go back and add the picture, because then in order for me to take it off, I got to be able to hide it. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. Hide the picture. There we go.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So I was trying to deep dive and find some more information about you. It's a lot of studio audience members that's commenting. I definitely want to get a chance to hear their comments. My mom said, "Our Lord, our God is mighty."
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
My cousin Nancy, she has a program that she has a broadcast called Word on the Street. And you can go to her Facebook page and learn more. Is Word on the Street is watching. Yes, thank you so much,
thank you,
Nancy. But God, she said, but God. Wow.
That's
Yolanda just gave lots of praise.
Thank you.
Lion and her cub. Yes.
Yeah.
Justine Hilliard said, thank God you were able to run We celebrate you. Yeah, let's do hashtag run Freeland. Run. Everybody hashtag run Freeland. Run.
Amen. Amen.
I found this image right here. I said, okay, we're gonna say instead of run, Forrest, run. We're gonna say run, Freeland, run.
That's
now
it.
listen, we're talking with the author of Free Your Land. And I want you to tell us about that book too.
Yes. Free Your Land was created, and the subtitle to Free Your Land is Developing Your Mental Real Estate. And when I said real estate, a lot of times people wanted to gravitate to actual real estate. Is he talking about a house? What does he mean? Well, when we're talking about real estate, we're talking about the real estate of your mind. Now, let me help you. Let me reiterate this a little bit. When we're talking about the real estate of your mind, the first thing we said was that people would gravitate to actual property. So as we talk about property and real estate, now that we're on the subject, you know what it's like to be a homeowner. If you're not a homeowner, you're a renter. Either way, if you have a place of residence, then you understand this is your parameter. You have so much of it to obtain for yourself while you're there. And in our homes, we got property pins, we got nice grass, we got nice fancy cars. If we don't have a car, there's a bicycle or a lawnmower or something. But in our property, in our real living property, we put all the things that what we want on our property. We put our nice furniture in our homes. We put our bedroom suits in our room. We put our washers and dryers in the wash facilities. You know, we even have garages. We got nice patio furniture. We got all of these things in our natural real estate. But listen, what would it mean for you to think about your mentality in the same exact way? Because let me ask you this. If I came to you and I said, here, listen, I got some things that I don't really want to keep anymore, but I want to be able to just have it somewhere. Do you mind if I put these 2 or 3 bags of trash that I really don't need anymore, but can I put these on your property? The first thing you're going to say, absolutely not. Right. So when we're talking about mental real estate, as I said that, now let me flip this, because there are perspectives on a positive and negative. There are positive and negative contributors to our mindset. We're talking about mental real estate. The positivity of knowing that is that if you won't allow somebody on the street to come in your house and throw their trash in your yard, what are you doing when we're talking about other people contributing to your mindset? Oh, wow. Because when we're talking about your mindset, how does that mean? How does that affect you when we allow other people to get into our thoughts, into our processes, and not only that, influence what we say, influence what we do? Now, that's the power in mental real estate, is understanding where those lines are drawn, because I said it before, there are positive and negative contributors to your mental real estate. Now, let me ask you this. When we're talking about the trash that I said I wanted to put in your yard, now we're talking about how that contributes to your mental real estate.
Right.
When we're talking about these things, now, understand this. You only have what? So much property. There's only so much of your house that you own. You can't go to the neighbors and say, hey, this is mine. This is my area. This is all I have to work with. So in mental real estate, if I continue to pour my trash into your yard, now we're talking natural. If I continue to pour my trash into your house, in your yard, that what? That removes the space. Let me say that again. It removes the space. And in mental real estate, if we take you out of the space that you have, then guess what? We just disabled you from the occupancy of the positive reinforcement that you would need to help somebody else. Because listen, just as we say that there are positive and negative contributors, there's only so much room that we can possess up here. Right. So if you stick things in your mentality and your mindset and understanding that what other people are contributing to you, you can't let go of, you can't get past, and you can't get through, then guess what? You took that space that you had. Now listen, if we could get this space back, how many times have you walked in your house and said, you know what? I can knock this wall out. I can build me a study room. I can put me a desk in here, and I can label this the Kim Jacobs Show, and I can do everything from right here. What would it mean? What I'm saying is this: when we take up the space in your mentality, when you're taken up with the negativity of the people that are around you that do not contribute to you, in a positive manner, it disables you from being able to use that space. So
That's
the only way you're going to be able to utilize the space that you have in your mental real upstate is you got to what? Clean house. Okay?
I love it. I love it. Make sure you type that, Andy, backstage. Clean house.
Clean
if
house.
you want to have more capacity to be able to invite in the positive mental real estate, you have to clean house upstairs. Yes. Go ahead, Dr. Michael Freeland.
Yes. So, I mean, mental real estate is created for everyone. This is why I say, listen, I tell people all the time, I always keep a book handy. I tell people all the time, listen, the book doesn't end with me. The book begins with you. Now, see, the book is just it's a key, it's a tool, it's a guide. What you need this book to be is going to become everything that you are. I can't give you, I can tell you a little bit about my journey, but when you buy this book, when you put your hands on this book, it becomes personal to you.
How do people get a copy of the book?
More about yourself.
How do people get a copy of your book?
The book is on Amazon right now. Oh man, thankfully it is a 5-star book. Read the reviews. Don't take my word for it, but it is on Amazon right now, ready for ebooks also. So you can get a copy for your Kindle if you like, or if you want a hard copy, if you want me to sign it, you can always hit me into my DM and let me know your information, and we can exchange information, and I can actually sign a copy and mail it out to you because I do it all the time. I'm just, I'm honored to be able to share and what you're getting in mental real estate. Listen, mental real estate for me, when this was created, it took me 8 months to do. This is my first and only book to this point. I'm not a book author of 15 books. Why? Because this was God's recipe. And I'll tell you how this came about. I was told by the world civility, the king now of Ghana, Clyde Rivers. He's my mentor. I was working with him and he says to me, you need a book. There's a book there. And I told him, listen, this is total moment of transparency. I told him, I don't write books. I'm a DJ. He said, no, you need a book. So what I did is I said, okay, I'll try this. So what I did is I went into my room and I was sitting there, had my glasses. I was working on the road. So I had my little book that I write in because I'm old school. I don't type nothing. I just got a little something I can doodle in. So I got my little pamphlet out and I'm sitting there writing. And what happened was I got stuck because I had never written a book before. I didn't know any type of formality of how to do this. And so I got so frustrated, I threw the pen across the room. I was so frustrated with trying to write a book. I threw the pen across the room and I sat there like a pouting child. And so after a while, I went and picked that pen up. And here's what I said. I said, okay, God, if you want this book, you do this. I'll be the instrument. I'll be the one who puts the words down, but you give me exactly what you want me to say, and I'll do it. And I tell you what, that was probably one of the best prayers I ever did. And I'll be doggone if God didn't deliver. And he gave me everything I needed for that book. Now, let me help you. The listeners, listen to this quickly. Here's the power in understanding the creation of mental real estate. When you look through this book, when you go through the pages on this book, every sentence that you read, with the exception of maybe a punctuality or something, everything in this book from the front to the cover, from the front of the cover to the back of the book was only written one time.
Wow. Let me say this right quick. Ebony said that pout turned into progress.
Come on now.
Yes.
Come on now.
My mom said, please give me Dr. Michael Freeland's book. Thanks in advance. So yes. We need to get two copies of Dr. Michael Freeland's book. I'm going to DM you so I can go ahead and get signed copies. I'll have you send one to her house and one over here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Today. Let's see. Ma'am. Any other comments? Lots of comments have been coming in. I tried to pop them on throughout the broadcast because this has been such a deep clean out your house, Operation Clean House. Yes. Lots of comments. I'll try and go back to the very beginning because I think I missed so many things listening to the story when I first was here. Amen. The strength of a mother, Shannon said. Yes. You all are active participants in today's studio. Thank you. Take your time, Dr. Freeland. Yes. I see all of your comments. Good morning, Ella. Good morning. Your race to run. Yes. Amen. Jesus is what you said. Yes, my God. He definitely got him over from Milroy's disease, which is ongoing, but he
Still,
lives with it and kicks the theory every day. You
yes,
are running your race, and the race God has destined for you. My
yes.
mom said you ran your race. Yes, run,
Amen.
Freeland, run your race, your race. She coming after you. Yes, God.
Yes.
Yes. Justine Hillier said, thank you, God, that you were able to run. We celebrate you. We celebrate you, the lion and her cub. Okay,
Thank you.
guys, I hope I got as many of your comments in as I could today. Okay, so tell us about this conference that you have coming up.
On September 18th, Kansas City. It's all right here behind me, but September 18th in Kansas City, we're going to the Hilton Airport in Kansas City. And this is going to be a phenomenal conference because, listen, what people don't know, if some of you are new listeners, is that this is my 30-year anniversary as this guy right here.
As
I have been a
DJ
DJ.
Mike, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show y'all. He has his screen there that has DJ Mike. That's one hat he wears. Then he has mental real estate Dr. Michael Freeland. And he has both hats that he wears very effectively. So
Yes.
let me put this conference thing up here. I think I have an image for that. I hope I do anyway. No, that's you. I keep bringing you and your friends. I love that. I love that. I love it.
I miss those guys too. I miss those guys.
You're gonna connect with them. Is this one of the images right here?
That's one right there. And this is going to be in Kansas City, guys, and it's going to be amazing. So here, let me help you. Is that during the day we have the King of Ghana who will be here. The newly crowned King of Ghana is coming to Kansas City, and this will only be his second time in the region. So I don't know where his reaches are, but I know in this region, that is a major, major big deal. We also have Christina Kovalchuk, also who has a global initiative, Every Girl Wins. You know,
she's a Mother Dreamer member, by the way. She's a part of our Mother Dreamer movement.
Yes, amazing, amazing. We also got Dr. Tracy Ward, is a powerhouse speaker. You know, she's Doc. I can't say enough about her, Lisa Coney Prince, and my good friend, Dr. Lotus Roche. You know, we got Key Bird, who is also coming in, and she's killing it. She's an international speaker, world traveler. And listen, she's got a message that's powerhouse as well. And listen, I can't do it without one of the baddest MCs in the game, and Wendell Graham. That guy right there is phenomenal. And we've done some shows and had some opportunities to work together. The messages that are coming, and that guy sitting right there on the lower right is the Dr. Corey Briggs, the builder. He's going to teach you a whole lot. But guess what? All of this is built around the philosophy of mental, real, of state of your mind. So everybody that comes is going to be sharing what their take is and getting perspectives, because I said there are so many perspectives in mental real estate, and these are people from all around the country and some that have worldwide ties. So this is going to be a phenomenal event to be at. This is just during the day. Now that night, we're going to dismiss in the mid to late afternoon, but that evening, as I said, 30-year celebration of DJ Mike J. I'm going to switch hats on you guys, and I'm going to actually put the hat on to let people know that, listen, DJ Mike J is going to be ready for you guys that night, because guess what? We're going to have a suit and tie formal affair. And when I throw these on, it's going to be all about business. So,
okay, well, you're going to keep that on for a second, because I want you to play some. Wait a minute. I hope I can see. I can't. Wait a minute. Let me put my glasses on. I'm in denial over here. Let me just see some. Okay. I want to type the right thing. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the comment section so you guys can register for this event. You definitely want to be in the house for this event. Right when the show is over, go ahead and register, and you can use this bit.ly link and let me make sure this is correct. Is it bit.ly/mental-real-of-state, correct?
yes, absolutely correct.
Okay, guys, and it's an in-person event, September 18th in Kansas City. You're gonna meet the president of the King of Ghana, and lots of phenomenal speakers that's going to be right there in Kansas City.
Yes, and the networking is going to be powerful, guys. I mean, listen, that's just the tip of the iceberg. When we get in the room and can hear what they have to say is one thing, but what does it mean to just be in the room and have an opportunity to shake hands and kind of touch some of the minds of the people that are there? If you have a business, or if you're inspired to have a business, book writing, it doesn't matter what your initiatives are. If you have any type of goals for yourself whatsoever, you need to be at this conference, because I'm telling you, the power in networking is very, very real. And I want people to be able to have an opportunity to connect with all. I'm not just putting them in the room. I want people to become a part of the room. So when we get there, make sure that you connect with somebody. You owe it to yourself. If you're trying to grow so you can go, you got to make sure to make these connections, guys. It's going to be great.
Wow. So tell us what's next for you, DJ Mike. DJ Mike J and Mental Real Estate. Tell us what's next for you.
Well, you know, what's next for me is DJ Mike J just doesn't quit, because people still want DJ Mike J on the platform to be doing what he does as a DJ. But for speaking, I'm going to be heading to Africa here real soon, because I'm going to be with the king at his coronation. There's going to be some things going on that I need to be a part of. And I'm working on global efforts right now. Mental real estate is already in institutions right now. There's correctional institutions that have adopted mental real estate into helping these young people that are coming out of institutions know how to transition into adulthood. You know, working with our youth is key, making sure that we can do more to help. And mental real estate is playing a very big part in that. It is also over in Uganda, and this is also going to be a global initiative over in Ghana, in the country of Ghana. So I have a lot of work ahead of me to continue to work into. But you know, one thing I know is that I can't stop now. If God is bringing me this far on these two legs, I'm going to walk this thing all the way out. So just know that if you don't see me, it ain't because I'm not active. It's because God's vision is bigger than myself, and I got to keep walking in it.
Y'all, if y'all missed today's episode and you're just watching the replay, start a watch party. Go back and give people a chance to cry and just benefit from what this man shared on this powerful story about living with Milroy's disease. I didn't even know what that was until I heard his story and how close he was to having his legs amputated and his life stripped from him. But guess what? He's still here to tell his story. And I want him as DJ Mike to close us out with some, give us some of your flair over there.
Hey,
working with DJ Mike.
You got to know something. Listen, when I tell people all the time, it's DJ Mike J, it's not about the music, it's about the experience. And this is the best part about the music is that we get to build connections with people all around. And one way that I know to make a major connection is the music, because listen to this. When you feel down and out, sing a song. Come on now, this is what I'm talking about. The power in music helps people realize that no matter what you're going through, sometimes music is the groundbreaker to help you get to the next side of what you're dealing with. Did you hear that? Sometimes the music is a groundbreaker to help you get to the next side that you're dealing with. So listen, this is DJ Mike J right now. This is Dr. Michael Freeland over here. So we came here today to share some goodness about mental real estate and why we do what we do. The Kim Jacobs Show is real. It's not going anywhere. So if you missed this episode, you got to come back. Not just to this one, to the next one coming up, and the next one coming up, and the next one coming up, because Kim Jacobs is not going anywhere. And guess what? She's got my seal stamp approval right now, because everything she does, I want to be a part of it, and I got to endorse it. So listen, thank you guys for having DJ Mike J, Dr. Freeland, and helping you guys understand a little bit more about mental real estate. I can't wait to meet you guys face to face. God bless you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to just be me. Thank you, Kim Jacobs.
Dr. DJ Mike, Mental Real Estate. I'm so glad that that all of you tuned in today and that you were a part of the virtual studio audience. Thank you for blessing us to be our guest today. You are truly an inspiration, and life is better because of you being here in it. So thank you. Thank you. Listen, everybody, tune in tomorrow, which is going to be Freestyle Friday. I have multiple experts. We have our sunshine expert coming on. We have some fitness experts coming on. We have people that's talking about just joy and happiness and why it's important. Be in your virtual seats on Friday, August 13th, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I'm so excited that you all will be tuning in tomorrow for that. And then I also want to take a quick moment today, literally probably right about now, my aunt, which is Frank Jacobs, Pastor Frank Jacobs and Courtney Jacobs, and the whole Jacobs crew, their father's sister, Miss Lily Bell McLean, is being laid to rest today. And so I just want to give tribute to the entire Jacobs family and let everyone know, the Rowe family, the Galloway family, let all of you all know that you're in our prayers. You have our deepest sympathy. And Miss Lily Bell McLean, was 92 years old. So she's had a beautiful, long life here on this earth, and we celebrate her life today. So I just want to take a moment to give homage and pay tribute to the entire McLean family and everyone on this day, and let you know that we celebrate her life here too, here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Okay. All right, guys. I think I've covered as much as I can today in one episode. Make sure you get a copy of Free Your Land, and do that right on Amazon, or you can DM DJ Michael Freeland, and he'll be happy to get you a signed copy. And then I also did want to just one more time let everybody know that this beautiful lady here, which is my mommy, turned 70 years old. And so we've been celebrating her and super excited about that. So make sure you can reach her, Ella Spradley, on social media. And if you want to cash app her at Ella Spradley as well. And she's been just celebrating. She said she had a heavenly experience right here on Earth.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it. I was trying to say happy birthday, Mom, but you beat me to it. Dang. Happy birthday, Mother. Hey, I seen the celebrations in order, and it was fantastic. Trusting that you celebrated really, really well. So God bless you, and happy birthday to you.
All right, everybody. I know it's so sincere condolences be with the family. And yes, condolences. Happy to my daughter. Happy birthday to my daughter, Carrie Ann Hilliard. Yes, happy birthday, Carrie Ann. She's our single parent obstacle expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
Amen.
Yes. Love your energy, brother. Yes.
Appreciate it, Courtney. Thank you.
Sing a song. They want you to sing. You're like, wait a minute, I'm a DJ. I ain't know you know singing over here.
That was the title of the song I just played. That's why they put that there.
Oh, sing a song. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode. I hate that we have to get off, right?
Yeah, I got more. I could keep going. I told you we don't have enough time.
Well, we actually have what's called the after party. So if you want to stay and drop a quick comment for any of those that are not Patreon members, you're missing out. I keep trying to tell y'all, all you have to do is go and support the Kim Jacobs Show different ways. But one of the ways is by becoming a Patreon member, and you get exclusive access to all kinds of content that you wouldn't normally get. So you can become a Patreon member right at patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. All right, everybody. Thank you, Andrew, backstage, for working with me as well. And everybody, you have a great, great day. Thank you, Dr. Michael Freeland.
You're welcome. God bless you. Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you. I'm going to go ahead and click off, y'all. Get off.